Hi, this is Michael Buckoff, and once you make a payment, you'll be directed to my special membership site. It's called Speak Clearly, the Accent Reduction and Pronunciation course. The purpose of this video is to give you an overview of what this course is about. As you go to my membership site, the first web page that you always will see is the suggested course outline. This is the meat and potatoes of the course, so to speak. You'll notice as I scroll down here, it starts, the suggested course outline begins with day 1, which is your intelligibility pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. In the entire course, it goes all the way to day 50. I've arranged 50 days of instruction which will help you improve your ability to speak English more naturally, more fluently, and you improve your ability to speak the vowel and consonant sounds more clearly, and you improve your pronunciation in several other key areas. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the intelligibility pretest that you will take in this class, and also you have a post-test you'll take at day 50. So I'm going to simply click on this link. Let's talk about the first intelligibility and speaking diagnostic pretest you're going to take. Now this might be different from what you're used to, but remember that my background is I have been teaching English as a second language since 1994. I'm an English professor at California State University, San Bernardino. I'm also a testing and placement coordinator at the same school, so I have a lot of experience working with students and diagnosing their speaking and pronunciation problems of American English. Now you may be asking yourself, well, why do I need a diagnostic test? I think this is why it's important. You probably have pronunciation problems if you're watching this video, but the problem is you don't know what the problems are. You don't know if they're vowel sounds or they're consonant sounds, or if they're vowel sounds, which vowels are there? Are you having trouble with, or if they're consonant sounds, which of those consonant sounds are you having trouble with? So that's what this first pretest is all about. Let's take a look at how it works. What I'll have you do is beginning with where it says day 8, I'm going to have you read each of these group of words out loud, and as you're reading them, you need to record your voice using a microphone and a computer. And you're simply going to record yourself reading all of these words beginning with day 8 all the way down to day 26. Now once you get this done, I will put on the column over here, I'll put yes if you have a problem reading these words, or no if you do not. If you have a problem, it just means you go in my course to day 8 and you watch the interactive video and you complete the lesson exercises to help you improve your ability in these areas. So this is a very, very specific diagnostic test to determine exactly which vowels and which consonant sound you're having trouble with. On this first pretest, I'll also have you answer some questions out loud, and just like you did in the first part of the pretest, you will record your voice answering these questions. And of course, you're going to email me and give me a chance to listen to your speech. Now, once you've done that, I go to the next part of it. I'm actually going to give you what's called an intelligibility score. So not only am I going to recommend which lessons you need to study in terms of your vowel and consonant sounds, I'm going to give you an overall intelligibility score of how understandable you are to native speakers. And your goal in my course, by the end of the course, it'll take you about 50 days to complete it. I'm hoping that I can get you to the 5.1 or higher. This means advanced speaking and pronunciation skills, or 6 or higher means near native speaker. That's kind of what you're looking for there. And I have an explanation of what each of these numbers mean. So again, you're shooting for 5 or 6. So once you've taken your pretest and you've basically taken the lessons based on my recommendations of the first 26 days of the course. I think now it's time for your intelligibility pretest for syllable division, grammatical word endings, word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, thought groups, and blending. This is actually the second half of this particular course. So if you have good control of your vowels and consonant sounds, it's now time to focus on the more advanced areas of my course, and that's why you will take another intelligibility test, pretest, on day 27 of the course. Alright, let's talk about this diagnostic pretest for syllable division, grammatical word endings, word stress, intonation, thought groups, and blending. First of all, you'll have two parts of the test. In this first part, you'll read each group of words or sentences aloud. You'll see them beginning with day 28. Now, like the last time, I will do pretty much the same thing. I'll put yes if you have a problem with these ideas, or I'll put no. And again, if you do have a problem, you simply go to day 28, for example, and you'll study the lesson focusing on the pronunciation of skills that were being targeted in this particular pretest. So sometimes you'll read words aloud depending on what I'm testing, what I'm trying to determine. Other times you actually will read full sentences out loud, and even sometimes I'll put something in parentheses to give you directions on maybe what kind of tone I want you to try to use when you say the statement. So it gets pretty advanced at this part of the course. So once you get done doing this, you'll get to the end of this pretest. Again, you're recording things using your microphone. You're going to save the file and email it to me. I'll have 3 questions I'll ask you here so I can get an idea of your spontaneous conversational abilities. And like I did on the first one, I will also give you an intelligibility score. So you can actually compare how understandable are you in the middle part of my course as you were in the beginning, so you can kind of mark your progress. Again, my suggestion is you're always shooting for the high goal of 5.1 or higher. This is very important, I think, in terms of your intelligibility of American English. Now, of course, once you've completed all of my lessons, you'll get to the very last day of the course, which is day 50. And you'll take one more test. This is an intelligibility post-test for vowels, consonants, syllable division, grammatical word endings, word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, thought groups, and blending. Essentially, all aspects of pronunciation of American English. So you're going to try to get some feedback from me. How have you done? How do you compare with your pretest with vowel consonants, and then the next pretest with syllable division, and so on? And then we look one more at the very end. Now this one's important, as you'll soon find out. So let's go ahead and click on this. You can look at the intelligibility post-test kind of as a final exam, so you can mark your progress throughout all 49 days of the course. This one's going to be a little bit different from what you've done before. Now, the one thing you might find interesting is if you want a certificate of completion and a letter of recommendation. Now, remember, I can write a letter to your boss. If there's a university and you give me an email, I can certainly send this letter to a university of your choice. But to do this, you have to get a score of 5.0 or higher on this post-test. This is important. I will not write the letter unless you have really good speaking and pronunciation skills in English. But I think that if you go through my course, I'm pretty confident that by the time you get to the last day, I think a lot of the people who take my course, and they do, they will get this score of 5.0 or higher. Let's take a look at how it works. So first of all, here you actually read 3 different paragraphs aloud while recording your voice. Try to read naturally. And then I'll ask you 3 questions, and again you'll record your voice giving the answer to these 3 questions, and you're going to save the file and email it to me.